All right, we are back in here and it was working. I don't know what went wrong here. This is really something else, everyone. So welcome back. I'm waiting for our guest Stephanie to come back, and I am streaming into Scale Your Nutrition Practice Facebook group. So let me just go live here. Terrific. All right. Let's connect our video source and we will go live shortly. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone, while we figure this out. Hey, Steph.
Hi. I'm figuring it out too. I'm having an issue with my camera.
For some reason, it actually worked. I don't know.
Well,
all right.
good.
So post in group. All right, here we go. All right.
Nothing like that.
I just love it. It's great. Yeah, you got to have a sense of humor about this. Otherwise, you just get angry and upset and all of those other things. So, Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's having troubles. We're having trouble streaming. Oh, you are live now. Okay. Getting all kinds of warning messages from StreamYard. Stephanie, honestly, I can't believe that I had to tape a tutorial about this today so every Tuesday I do kind of like tech oriented tutorials for our community because we all struggle with the technology.
Absolutely.
I can't believe that I have to do a tutorial about this today. It's like circa 2018. I'm not really sure why Facebook is making us turn back the clock. I am sure that they have a very valid reason, but they have yet to share that with us all. So, okay. All right. I just want to make sure that we're in here. And Hillary, if you can hear me, please comment and confirm that we are. There we go. Perfect. Great. All right. We're here.
I'm having my own tech issues with my video all of a sudden once.
Right? I know. Well, thanks for hanging on with us, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging on with us. So let's just kind of kick it off with the tech. So Facebook has disabled third-party apps like StreamYard, like Ecamm, for streaming into Facebook groups specifically. Not really sure why they did that, but there is a workaround. It's actually pretty simple. Don't be afraid about the glitch that we had today. I think Stephanie had something to do with us testing it earlier, but it is pretty straightforward. You should test it before you go live, which we did in the Facebook group, and just kind of be patient with it. We'll figure it out. Oh, thank you, Hillary. And and later on today on my Instagram feed at Living Plate, I am going to tape a video, an audio visual tutorial for how you can actually make this happen. So I am in StreamYard. I am streaming into LinkedIn, into YouTube, and then also into our private Facebook group using different settings. So we'll cover that another time. Let's move on to today's topic. So welcome to another Q&A office hour and strategy call. This is so important. And I can't think of anyone that I would rather have this conversation with than Stephanie Hoffenke from String Marketing. Stephanie and I have been working together for years. I think it's about 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
And, we work on a lot of projects together. And, a few times in our relationship, we've both had like this collective aha moment, like, this is awesome. We need to figure out how we can share this with our community. The first one for me really was the alignment of the sales and marketing funnel: attract, serve, and retain. Remember, I talk about it a lot. The 3 things that you need to do to drive practice growth. If you're not attracting people, serving them with immense value, and retaining them, you don't have a business, like, at all. So, but how that aligns with health behavior change theory. And today, what Stephanie is going to do, leveraging her expertise as a marketing and technology guru, she's going to break that down, every phase of the funnel, into what technology you might need and really the actions that you need to take to bring your funnel to life and make it run like a well-oiled machine. So I am doing a lot of talking right now, Stephanie. I would love for you to kind of kick off the conversation as well, while I go in here and manage the tech a little bit. So please, introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this conversation because it's so needed and relevant for everybody. And we're going to get real deep into specifics on the topic of tech and how it applies to your customer journey, which is also another way to say funnel. And so we're gonna slice and dice this and look at it from another viewpoint today. And so a little bit about me. If you're not familiar with me yet, I founded String Marketing 14 years ago. We are a full service marketing agency for registered dietitians. And we focus on middle of the funnel stuff. So helping get those conversions, get people on your list, making sure that your leads are captured, processed, and that your brand stands out. So I have a full team that helps do that and helps support dietitians. So with that, we've kind of, like Jeannie was saying, when we collaborate, such good things come out, and we've been looking forward to an event coming up. And I don't know if we can mention that one, Jeannie. But
yes, of course we can.
Yeah,
of course we can. So Stephanie and I we love spending time in person with the people that we serve, because just so much comes out of that, kind of like a mastermind group. And so we were like, well, why don't we just do a mastermind group? So Stephanie and I are hosting our first in-person mastermind. It's called Fill Your Funnel. And we're going to be supporting a small group of practitioners, I think about 25, who were accepted. You had to apply. And if you have a practice for a certain number of years and you kind of fit the profile, we can help you. And so we are going to be at Today's Dietitian, and it will be a pre-symposium mastermind. It is completely free. So if you are going to Today's Dietitian, or if you're in the Salt Lake City area and you want to come visit us, please reach out and we'll make sure that you are invited. It's really going to be an amazing 3 hours. Stephanie and I are going through the agenda now. We're like, how are we going to fit this all in? And, we can't fit it all in, which is why we decided to have accountability pods after the mastermind group. So the mastermind will be 3 hours, but then for 2 months after, we're going to be meeting with our group to make sure that everybody can implement all of the strategies and tactics that we shared. So thank you for reminding me, Stephanie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's kick off mapping your client journey, which is the topic for today's strategy call. I cannot say this enough. Attract, serve, retain. I've said it so much that a few of our members have actually commented. They have it written like in their office. They have it written on their whiteboard. If you are engaging in activities that are not focused on attracting, serving, and retaining your clients, then you should not be doing that activity. Like either somebody else should be doing it, or you should significantly reduce your time there. Like you need to spend time attracting, serving, and retaining your clients. So what does that mean? Stephanie has shared, should I, let me see. I have.
Yeah, go ahead and share your screen if you.
Yeah. Stephanie put together a really quick slide for us to share. It's going to kind of guide our conversation. Here we go.
So yeah, we're going to take the attract, serve, and retain and kind of drill it down further into a customer journey. Which let me go through this graphic really quickly. Are you able to make that just a tad
bigger? You know what I can do is I can make us invisible. They can still hear us, but okay. Is that good?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So we're going to go through this customer journey, and let me explain the general overview here and how that relates back to the attract, serve, retain. So we actually start down in the lower left-hand corner here with aware. Awareness is when people first see you. It might be on social, speaking, blogging, could be just the first contact or first visibility that you have in front of your potential client. And then moving on to engage, subscribe. So we're starting down there. We end up at retain. So how this goes back to the attract is aware, engage, and subscribe are all in the attract. The next line up, the convert, excite, and elevate is all part of serving your clients. And then the last two right on the top are the raving fans and retaining clients. So that's the retain section. So we're going to kind of just break this down, and we're going to talk about technology for each phase, processes for each phase, just to try to make it a little bit more visual for all of you guys out there trying to really wrangle in where technology is used, what tools you might need, and what pieces are going to be most vital, especially if you're just starting out or you feel like you don't have the basics down yet, where you should spend your time and maybe focus. So,
and, I'd like to ask a question for everybody who is joining us right now. Hi, Shelly, Allison. Good to see you here. For those of you who are joining us right now, and even if you're joining us on the recording, you can use the hashtag replay so that we know that you've watched the recording, and then we will always respond to you. But I'd like for you to share, what part of the funnel do you struggle with the most? You need to attract, serve, and retain your clients. So tell us, is it the attraction phase where you're having to engage in awareness, engagement activities and getting people into your funnel? Is it service, serving them with content and value so that they convert to paid clients, or the retention, maintaining retention and developing a raving fan base? Let us know, please, what is it that you really feel like you need to focus on in your practice? We're going to be covering them all today, but would really be nice for you to share where you would want us to focus the conversation.
And just a note about that, if you're like any practice owner or business owner for that matter, you kind of bounce around between those three sometimes, like, oh, this one needs more. It's kind of like juggling a little bit, like I need attention over here. And I think that's where automation can kind of come in, where if you set up certain systems, processes, and automation, if you're bouncing around a lot between those three, which all of us do all the time, that bouncing around can be reduced a little bit by automation. And so I really like to think of automation as a little bit of ease, and obviously technology can bring that to your practice. So
yeah, and before we move on to talk about the content, the tools, and kind of how you can leverage what you already have access to, the Living Plate RX membership gives you access to all the content that you need. But content does not create value. What creates value is an experience. And the question is, Stephanie, how do you create that experience in these three phases, kind of moving people through the journey? That's what you're going to be talking about today. And also really important to make sure that you insert yourself into the journey. This is not, a passive thing. Like, yes, you want technology to work for you to get these systems rolling, but it's not a set it and forget it. You need to show up, which is why I'm doing that tutorial about live events. Like, this is a way to show up for your community. So you put those three things together. That's really where the magic is going to happen, right? The content.
Technology is there to assist you to be able to show up.
Right. And look, we save you time with tons of content. If you have the right tech in place, you're going to save content. You're going to save time, more time. And then that's where that's why I put that in all caps. That's where the you really is, you're able to amplify that. I just find, with practitioners and me, myself, right, 6 years ago, before I had something like Living Plate RX, like the content was such a burden. It was really hard for me to show up. And if you're constantly creating content, like, it's really hard to put tech and systems in place if you're like constantly having to feed the machine, right? And so, it's just really kind of a nice scenario we all find ourselves in right now. All right, Stephanie, so where do you want to start? You want to start with the attract, aware, engage? Aware, engage, and subscribe, and kind of what content somebody might need in this phase.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the aware phase, like I was saying, this is the phase where somebody first just gets a visual on you. It could be that they see a social post or a live event that you're doing on a page. It could be speaking, podcast appearances. It could be from an SEO effort where you're doing keyword research and blogging on relevant topics and they're landing on a blog post. So this is really the largest part of the funnel. And there's a reason why the funnel is shaped this way, is because there are a lot of activities up here in the aware phase. And I think this is an area where a lot of practitioners feel really overwhelmed, as we all can, and trying to pick what are the activities that are really going to move the needle, what's going to be important, because there are so many activities. You're only, a lot of people are solo practitioners, and they need to be really careful about where they're spending their time. And so, and the tools that you need in these areas. So obviously for social, there's some obvious ones of scheduling software for social posting. Google Business Listing, I just cannot say enough about how important that is for anybody who serves a local audience. You need to have an optimized Google Business Listing. And then speaking, of course, speaking is a big one. When I say speaking, I think of a wide range. It could be joining, it could be doing like a Facebook Live, like we're
right. I was going to say, it's not like it's being on a stage, whether it's a virtual stage or it's in
in
person,
front of
right?
people, or
Doing
even at your farmer's market.
right, or
Yeah.
community events, right? Exactly, farmers market. Like that's how I built my practice initially, was just getting out into the community, and just anybody who would have me do a cooking demo, nutrition talk, like I would go. And that's all in that aware stage. So I did pull up the visual, Stephanie, so that everybody could see. So I'll kind of bounce around as you're talking, but you just covered, a number of things that could be in the aware phase. And so, that's the content. What would be the technology? Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
So technology that can happen here and that can support you is, social posting scheduling software, of course, is an easy one where you can create a bunch of content at once and have some posts going out in so that you have a regular presence on social. That's a fairly simple one. Some lesser known ones for speaking is, I really love Textable. Textable is a system where you can say text this word to this short number, 5-digit number. It will respond, say, what's your email address? You give the email address, and then you're being put into an automated series. You do have to connect it over to like an email marketing system, but it's a valuable tool when you're out there speaking, whether it be something like this, or if it's, say you're at a farmer's market or a community event, to be able to just say that or have that on a business card or something like that really helps to get subscribers.
It's kind of like ManyChat, but off of social media.
Exactly.
It operates the same way. So
face-to-face.
it's a prompt. Okay.
Yeah,
it's been around a while.
It has been around a while. I think it's underutilized in the speaking realms, and so it's always one that I like to share because it is so easy to be able to use.
Okay.
And so that's another one that can be there. Also, of course, having an optimized website with a blog is extremely valuable. Obviously, blogging can take some time. Learning the tools, it's kind of an art form, understanding SEO, keyword research, things like that, and doing blogging can be time consuming, but it's one of those activities that is long term. So in the realm of awareness, in the Aware funnel, there are activities that are flash, like they're fast. It could be like ads. Ads can get you in front of a large audience, but they might not all be ideal. So it's kind of like casting a wide net, right? Whereas speaking and some of these other things and blogging can kind of be a little bit more narrowed, but they can last a little bit longer. Speaking creates immediate trust with your audience. They feel like they've already have a relationship with you when they've seen you speak. So that's a big one. Blogging, however, it might take quite a while for one post that you create to trend or to rank, but once it does, it's fairly easy to keep it there. So it's an activity. It might be labor intensive upfront, but it can be a long-term asset. So each one has its own benefits to it, but an optimized blog in that way is a really helpful one. So
Stephanie, we have a question about Textiful, and I would just say we don't need to talk about it, but it was Textiful, correct?
Textiful, TEXTIFUL.
Perfect.
I have it on the download that I'm offering everybody today. It has 40 different tools with links and pricing and all the information, but it also talks about, I have a case study in there from a speaker that uses Textiful and also uses our String Connect system, and it explains what her funnel kind of looks like and how she uses that tool. Amazing. And how that's helped her. So check that out. Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, so Caitlin, you'll be able to, we're going to make sure that you get access to Stephanie's high value opt-in today. And we're going to talk about opt-ins in a little bit. It is packed with information about all of these tools. So I'm glad that you're taking notes, but Hillary just dropped it. Okay. So great. Good for you. Everybody who's on now, run to get Stephanie's opt-in. It's amazing. So Stephanie, it's just very kind of meta right now, right? Because you're speaking. You speak quite a bit. You're a guest on podcasts. You get into private Facebook groups. You have a very well-defined niche, registered dietitians. And so you are already recognized as an expert because of all of that awareness activity, so that when you offer an opt-in, right, people are ready to give you their email address because they know you're going to deliver value because based on your history. So just understand, like, we're actually living what we're talking about.
We're living it out right now. And that's my main driver of leads. I'll just be honest with speaking. And I think the truth be told, in the awareness phase, it is not reasonable, or should you expect that you can go out and do all of the activities in the awareness phase, do speaking, social, all the things really, really well. You really need to understand, where is your audience? Where are they actually going to hear you, see you, and get the, know, like, trust factor from your marketing? What's going to work for you? What actual talents and where are you most comfortable, right? That those factors all come into play where you're going to laser focus your marketing. And I think I just want to give everybody some encouragement there, that start out in one area and build from there. You don't necessarily have to start with everything. It's good, but it can be very overwhelming. So one thing at a time is okay.
Yeah. And start where your strategic plan kind of dictates where you should start. If you are more of a local business, you need to have a Google listing, and maybe you need to have some social media presence, but that is not going to be a driver of business, right? Getting out into your community and speaking, going into local Facebook groups and speaking, that's where you should focus your activity. So Stephanie, I'm glad that you said that, because we often spread ourselves too thin, because we think we need to do all of these things. I did an entire podcast on, why you should or should not engage in social media activities, right? Like, there are so many other things that you can do that can serve your business. But the question is, what is your business? So start with a strategic plan, decide where you're going to start, and know that, like, this is necessary. You can't skip over this attract phase. You simply can't, because if you're creating a digital course before you have, you have people like really coming into your funnel, it's just not going to sell. And it's not because you have a bad course. It's just because you don't have the numbers. You don't
have people aren't going to recognize you. The other one I didn't mention in the aware phase is so extremely important for dietitians is referral networks. So it's not dietitians, unfortunately, as I would love to have them. They're not on every street corner like a chiropractor. And so the general public does not think, when they have something that a dietitian can help with, they're not automatically going to think, I got to work with a dietitian. So they're not out there just searching for specifically what you're looking for, but they are in front of other people that if you educate one person, they can help you spread the word. And those referral networks, feeding into those referral networks, whether it be a chiropractor in your community or a doctor or different people, those are worth spending time on, because you can convince one person, partner up with one person, and that can be a very good source of leads for you. And you have to do a lot less convincing in that way.
It's amazing. And if you don't need a lot, if you're a single practitioner, solo practitioner, you don't need a lot of doctors referring to you. Like two, sometimes almost one is enough, but that would be risky. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. But let's say you have good relationships with 2 or 3 different docs refer, like, just pour in the value to them versus, casting a wide net and trying to, basically be friends with everybody, right? That's just not going to work. Like, pick your friends, pick the people who align with your practice philosophy, and really lean into that, and do live events with them, which is something I did very
collaborate, help each other.
Yeah. It's great. Okay. So in the attract phase, we had the aware, engage, which you talked quite a bit about. Now I'm just going to switch.
Which is the biggest part of the funnel, so we do want to spend a lot of time there. But engage, let's talk about engage.
It's also the one that people ignore the most, because it's not what people want to hear. Like, it's hard work. Like, it's, why do I have to attract so many people and not make a sale? Well, that's what you have to do. It's like, training for a half marathon. Like, you can't just go out and run. Like, you have to do the work beforehand. And for everybody, the more niche down you are, the quicker your funnel is going to fill. Stephanie, would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's way easier the more niche you are, because people will really recognize you right away.
Great. Before we move on, because I do want to talk a little bit about Subscribe. We have a bunch of people who just joined us: Noreen, Cambria, Nicole, Nadine. Good to see you here. I would love it if everybody would just drop in what their niche is. I want you to drop your niche in, because then, as Stephanie and I kind of talk through the content and tools, we can paint a picture for some of you of what this actually could look like. So the awareness, the engagement, very top of the funnel activities. And then we get a little bit higher value with this subscribe piece of the attraction phase. So talk a little bit about that, Steph.
Yeah. So, and just to touch on engage just quickly, it's really about your presence. It has a lot to do with brand, having a good website where they're landing. This is your, really kind of the first time they're checking you out further, messaging you on social, potentially maybe engaging with a chat widget. So very soft level activities happening in that particular, so that the particular phase. So that really is about your website presence, and potentially a funnel presence.
Okay.
Subscribe area. Now subscribe, this is when they are giving you, in exchange for some contact, giving you their contact information, you're sending them something of high value. So it could be a lead magnet, typically it's called. It could be a download, a PDF.
I love toolkits. That's my current obsession. Toolkits.
Toolkits are so popular. Compilation of information.
Let's do, you know, kind of a living study here. We have Nicole who's on. She services teen athletes. I love this, Nicole. So what could be an activity that Nicole could engage in to kind of cover her, you know, aside from the website and the blogging and all of that, what are some aware and engagement activities that Nicole could do?
Okay, so teen athletes, it's really about talking to the parents, but being attractive enough to the teen to engage with your services when they sign up. So you are marketing to both people, but the parents are the ones opening their wallet. A really good activity for them is team sponsorship and community. So for instance, you get in touch with athletic directors at high schools and say, hey, I would love to come to all of your parent teacher or your parent nights for your teams and talk about nutrition for the season to keep them healthy, strong, and ready for, and you go and you do a little talk during the parent night, parent meeting about it. And then the last little thing is just a little pitch, or you're handing out a thing for them. And you can do this. So sometimes they're not going to be as receptive to just have you come for free, but you can sponsor the team. Say you sponsor them, $500 as the sponsorship for the team. And in exchange, you're able to come to.
So wait a minute, you're saying not getting paid, but paying for the FaceTime.
You could. It's better than paying for ads and casting way
it's time or money. It's time or money, right? And sometimes what money can help you do much better than time is amplify.
Yes.
Right. So Facebook ads or paying for, you know, being in front of your ideal customer avatar. We actually used to speak to different sports groups, like swimmers, especially because we have a big swimming program locally, and that always worked out, you know, and the parents, you know, especially with teen athletes, Nicole, I'm sure that you find this, like, you know, parents have certain ideas about, you know, things. And so you have to kind of walk that fine line, but, you know, definitely having the gatekeepers, like the parents are responsible for bringing the food into the house. So making sure that they're present, you know, just speaking to teen athletes it can be okay, but they're not paying the bills, right? Most likely. So definitely getting the parents in them. I love that, Stephanie. That was a great suggestion. So maybe what's something that Nicole could offer of high value to them is like an opt-in for an email.
Yeah, absolutely. So in that phase, parents are really struggling and teens are struggling to have the right things for eating that time right in between school and practice or school and game, or they're rushing to do their homework. They need good nutrition. What are the things that they can bring to school with them that are easy to eat? So ideas in that area, easy pack, you know, like lists or recipes or whatever you can do to help support that really difficult thing. Like, how do they plan for that? How do they do it? So supporting the parents, supporting the players with that information in whatever way it might be, you know, just even a recipe pack or something like that, like things you can make ahead that take 30 minutes.
Things you need on the soccer field. Yeah. I mean, you know, there's so much content inside of our library, Nicole, for you to kind of dive into and put together this. I love this toolkit idea for you for as a resource. And then, you know, on the tech side, and this is now starting to get a little bit, you know, as we're taking Nicole through her journey here, right? Starting to get into serving them super high value. They're going to give you their email, Nicole, for showing up at that event, whether it's virtual or in person. You're going to get an email from everybody who's attending. What do you do with that now to start serving value and start converting them? I'll just pipe in a little bit with like the content piece. An email series is perfect. We have just started publishing them in our library for members. Super popular. People are always like, when is the next one coming out? Because they're really great for engagement, and feedback from patients and clients is really, really great. So high satisfaction, cooking videos and recipes, all really great stuff. Is there anything else maybe that Nicole could do post event?
Yeah, post event. I mean, and kind of depending on the rules, textable can be helpful too if they're not going to allow to give you all the emails addresses, that you're collecting them via something like textable. But post event, you could even do like offer the discovery call, offer the another webinar event or something like that. I don't know if you need to build that much value after you already spoke. I think an email series is probably going to be the best. You could do a challenge. You could do a quiz for the parents, like, hey, is my child, have everything that they need, or whatever it might be. Are they thinking about food in a healthy way? Is an important topic. And so quizzes are really popular at that point. And then, the email series, I think at that point is probably the best follow-up if you're not already just going for the discovery call.
And that's if you look all the way to the right here, this is the subscribe phase and kind of jumping over into convert and excite. And we're coming down the funnel now. Like if you envision the funnel, the attract, serve, and retain, we've now attracted our ideal customer avatar, and we're starting to convert them. We also have a comment from Caitlin, who is a cancer recovery and reducing recurrence, like risk reduction for cancer survivors, which is a community that I served on a very deep level, Caitlin, for many, many years. And it could look very much the same way with Nicole, except you will almost always have your gatekeepers. Not always, though. Caitlin, for you, if it's post-treatment, it might be the caretaker and the patient, right? It's not always just the patient. The patient might not be cooking for themselves, so they might be struggling if it's right after treatment. So just be aware of that. But, really getting in front of your ideal customer avatar with somebody who has just finished treatment. And, for Caitlin, for those of you who work in oncology, insurance pays for a certain amount of counseling, like during treatment and just after, but it ends. And then these patients have a tremendous amount of stress, very, very high level of stress once they leave. And that's why we served so many coming from the oncology centers around us. And so, this post-treatment phase, Caitlin, is really where you can have an impact, and getting into those oncology centers, working with their outpatient dietitian. I'm sure they would be very, very welcoming to you, especially if you're going to do a cooking demo. Remember, high value. It's not always about just speaking. You want to make sure that you're delivering super high value, and cooking demos really get people in the room and it gets them excited. And then, of course, you collect their emails and you can push out an email series that speaks directly to that ideal customer avatar. Would you have anything else to add to that, Steph?
Yeah, I mean, in that particular area, the two great areas, of course, aligning yourself with oncology centers, cooking demo. I love that idea, Jeannie. Yeah. And also that's another area, if you're doing more online, is aligning yourself with Facebook group owners who are serving that audience. And Facebook group owners are looking for people to contribute. And if you're contributing value, don't be afraid to approach the admins and just say, hey, this is what I do. I would love to help feed your audience without being salesy. Of course, you just need to get in front of them and that they know that you exist. And that could be another really great source where you can do it right from the comfort of your own office.
Or kitchen, your own kitchen, like do a live cooking demo. And when I say live cooking demo, you don't even have to cook. You could just show how to make overnight oats, for example. It's a perfect, like kind of no cook recipe, or just talk about creating a balanced snack, because protein post recovery is important. So like, how can you put snacks together that can, keep you feeling satisfied, but still contribute to reduction of recurrence, reducing risk of recurrence. So love this conversation around both Nicole and Caitlin's niches. And it really does apply to any niche. So, think about how you're going to kind of front load the value, get in front of your right people. I love the Facebook idea, Stephanie. That's really valuable. Approach nonprofits. So, often within your niche, there are nonprofits that support those populations. Work with them. Sometimes it could be a YMCA too. right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they all have Facebook groups. They all have private Facebook groups. So
They do.
watch the tutorial later today, and I will support you
There you go.
with making sure that you can go live in a Facebook group.
There you go.
Great.
And I just want to point out too that, okay, so for the in-person cooking demo at a hospital or a Facebook Live appearance, both of those things can feed into the same funnel. It can feed into the same subscribe link. So you can craft your messages that you're talking about in those presentations to feed towards the same funnel. Yes, you can create a new one every single time, but what you really want to do in that subscribe is really deliver. When they subscribe, you want to then follow up with even more value for them. So you want to take time to create the thing that really hits, just makes a nice straight line from your speaking through your subscribe to your product, right? So take time to create those things, and don't think you have to create a new one every single time, because that can sometimes just dilute it. You might just want to hone in the one that you got.
Yeah. My last week's podcast, I talked about creating captivating opt-ins in one of our live events as well. And, create 3 or 4, see which ones resonate the most, and then just lean into the 2 that are really working. And like Stephanie said, with the technology, and we're going to talk a little bit about String Connect because it's so powerful. And I'm sure in String Connect, you can do this. You can have people opt into a specific thing. Like, let's say it is an email series, which super high value. They're going to get a full week of recipes and cooking videos, or maybe 4 weeks. You're going to drip it out over 4 weeks, however you want. But when that ends, you do not stop talking to them. That person has given you their email, which means they've given you permission to engage with them. So once they finish that funnel, then they bounce over to your kind of the excitement and elevate kind of piece. I'm going to open this up big so that everybody can see now, right? So great. So let's talk now about this next phase of the funnel, which is like serving this immense value and getting them to elevate to a paid service.
Absolutely. So let's just cover over Convert really quickly. So Convert, most commonly we see Convert for one-on-one practitioners as a discovery call. Even with bigger programs, courses, things like that, discovery calls are important right now. People are just to talk about the state of purchases in the consumer right now in this space is people want high value. They are spending their dollars still, but they are cautiously spending their dollars. So offering a discovery call during this time, even if you haven't in the past, if you're feeling a lull, offering a discovery call can help reassure and build that trust with your audience. So if you're not doing one now and you're looking to convert more leads, you have good traffic, consider having a discovery call. So that's an activity that's most common in the Convert stage. Sometimes it could be a small purchase of what we call like a tripwire, where it might be a guide or something of a little bit more value. Or a short course or something like that. That's not as common with practitioners. I would not start there if you're just starting your practice. If you're just starting your practice, start with a discovery call. I think that's more important.
Yeah, I think the tripwire is more in the B2B space.
Yeah,
it can work in the consumer space, I'm sure. If you have big enough numbers, like tripwires work if you have big enough numbers, because it's really
an ad strategy or something.
It's a Facebook ad strategy. I've been using it for a little more than 4 years now, I think. But I'm B2B, right? And it's a very low price offer. It's $47 for truly thousands of dollars of content. And people, it's such high value that people pay. And now for me, if somebody pays for your opt-in, that is a much hotter lead. So they get different kinds of attention than somebody who is just opting into like a free email series, for example. So I love the discovery call, Stephanie. The one thing that I did want to mention that kind of came to mind, if you are really niche down and you're marketing on social media and you have some traction there, you can do that, not a discovery call on social media, but you can communicate in the DMs with people. I have done that before. I love using voice notes, and people are always so surprised. So somebody will comment on a post and I'll follow up, or they'll download, right? I'm doing a lot of the ManyChat automations now. They'll download something and I'll say, thanks for the download, for your, trusting me. And I would, love to have a conversation to see how I can support you. And if they ask me a question, I can do a voice note. And they always respond like, that was really, that was
Right.
really
It was
cool.
really you. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Sometimes my dogs are barking, like it's real, Sometimes the dogs are barking and there's lots of noise, or I'm in the car and there's noise. Not driving.
Not pre-recorded. Just
not pre-recorded, right? And so that is where, remember, we said at the top there, you've got the content, the tech, and the you. And the you is big with the discovery calls, and it's big with that those voice notes on social media. I really encourage you, if you've never done a discovery call, if you've never left a voice note for somebody in the DMs, do that. It's a really great experience, and you'll reap benefits from that for sure. So what's going to happen now in this Excite phase? Like, what happens here? I just opened up the image again.
The Excite phase is your intentional spot where you're really lighting their eyes up and saying, wow, this is really what I need. Now, that is typically via serving your customer with your services or product. It could be a one-on-one appointment. So in this phase, it kind of depending on the structure of your products, it could be that you have an initial consult or a small starter package or something like that, where you deliver a lot of value. You're getting paid for that value, of course, but it could be a small step in. Sometimes people put their big core product here, but I do find that most practitioners need to have some sort of starter package or something like that, where there's they're doing the health history and all of that. You guys deliver your value. You guys make health transformations. I don't. I do marketing. So I think in a package structure way of like, what is the consumer looking for? What do they want? Or how do we need to structure your packages and your pricing to make them understand and to engage in your services? And this particular stage with Excite is where, what is the one thing that we can get them to commit to that you can deliver consistently that will light them up and make them excited? Because right there is when you get your lifetime customer, and you will be able to elevate them up into your funnel, into other products, whether it might be that course, or it could be a core program offer, or a bigger one-on-one package. It could be just even elevating upsells into supplement packages and protocols. There's so many different ways to be able to get the full value out of your customer suite. But I think the key thing there is that to intentionally place something in your product offering, in your services, that is something that they will purchase and you will be able to deliver consistently for.
Or whether, even if it's if you're an insurance-based practice, right? That's where the one-to-one comes in with maybe some add-ons. And I want you all to envision now the funnel, right? So Stephanie and I talked about the attract phase, which was the aware, engage, subscribe, right? A lot of activity, a lot of people. Your funnel gets tighter, right? As people eventually decide to engage with your services with the exchange of money versus the email. And so not everybody is going to get excited, right? As hard as we try. And you don't need everyone who comes into your funnel to convert. You just want a good percentage, and that it could be different for everyone. It's different for everyone.
Yes.
Right?
Well, and this is a really interesting place where you can hone in your niche even further.
Yes.
So the clients that get excited are your niche.
Yes.
Why are they excited? Why were they different? Why the person who wasn't excited, why are they different than that? That's you honing in your niche in that way. It's a psychographic. It's way beyond just women in their 40s with a thyroid condition. Way beyond that. It's really more like, well, they were in this mindset. They had this experience in the past. They tried X, Y, Z, and it didn't work. And you'll see patterns in these clients that you're able to deliver your Excite to, and got their eyes lit up, because not everybody makes it to retain, even if they're a client of yours. Not everybody that has been a previous client are clients that you want to have again. So, and that's okay. And that just helps you hone in your niche and hone in your messaging, because you want to speak to that specific person. So when you get to that Excite phase, analyzing the delivery of that and who got excited can really help you then go back, track through your funnel all the way up to aware and subscribe, and say, how can I craft this for that particular person? Because I want 100 more of them.
Yes.
Right?
And your urgency is a word that kind of comes to mind when describing that when you're hitting the bullseye. The people who are going to get the most excited about working with you are people who have a certain level of urgency. I use fertility as an example because it's just kind of what we've seen. Now with Caitlin, with people who've been touched by cancer, pretty much everyone who's been touched by cancer has a high level of urgency. So you could potentially be serving a tremendous volume of patients because they come to you with urgency. It's a very stressful situation that they find themselves in. For other niches, it's really, again, just having urgency about their situation. So for example, fertility medicine, are you a woman in her 30s who is trying to get pregnant? Or like Stephanie said, think about the psychographics of that, right? You are a couple who has now endured over a year of fertility treatments, and you really need to take it to the next level.
Yep.
So serving the population of people who've been touched by infertility, but who have already had this experience of not having success and are really looking for the answer, you need to be that answer. And so that's where that inflection point, right? This excitement kind of comes from, the excitement is kind of a positive word, but sometimes it comes out of negativity. Like this was an experience.
But, okay.
Yeah, but it's exciting because now you are the person who can support them with meeting their health goals, right? And so engaging them first in these packages that Stephanie is talking about. And can we just talk about the technology a little bit there too before we move on to Elevate?
Yes,
absolutely. We have about 15 more minutes, which is fine because honestly, like what we've talked about so far is where
we've gotten through the biggest part of the funnel because getting people to this point is a
lot of work.
You got them. There's a lot you can do with them still, but you got them.
Yeah, exactly.
Technology in this space. Okay, so obviously EHR systems, your health management system is going to be important. I'm not going to talk about those necessarily. I'm going to talk from a marketing perspective. So in the discovery call phase, I do think you need an outside system facilitating your discovery call. This is why. It should be more than just they schedule on your calendar and they get a confirmation. There's a lot that you can do right at that moment. They've decided to get on a call with you, and you have a lot of opportunity right now then to delight them. And so what I suggest is use a system. String Connect is able to handle this. I love building out discovery processes for people because, and you can book me, Calendly, Acuity. There's a lot of them. It's all in the download. I have a bunch of ones listed there. But the goal here with your discovery call is they sign up for a discovery call. They get an email and a text reminder. Then you're able to heat the lead, is what I call it. So you're able to take and warm them up. Know, like, trust. Whatever elements there, you can even have an email on each before they get on that discovery call. Know, like, trust. Have a video for each for you, or even just explanation. Not explanation.
What do you mean? What do you mean a video? Have a video for each?
Yeah. So
a video of like the practitioner.
Yeah, the practitioner saying, "Hey, I'm so excited to be talking to you. I just want to give you a little bit of background." It could be you could talk about a case study based on what they just signed up for. Which is good. That's right. The trust factor is give them a case study. Talk about somebody who's similar to them or people that you've helped. The no is like maybe tell a little bit of background about yourself, a story. Just say, "Hey, I just want you to know I'm a person just like you. I'm excited to help, and this is why I got into this." Right? Especially
if you have the shared experience with that person.
Yes, right.
Because then you're really connected.
Why are you passionate about what you're doing?
Right.
All those kind of things. And so the know, like, trust kind of, you could do videos, you could do text. It could be a video testimonial from a client. You have an opportunity before you hop on that discovery call to heat the lead up, to warm them up, and to get them ready. And then, of course, right before the call, 15 minutes before the call, they should get a text. And they should get an email earlier that day and just say, "Hey, excited to talk with you." So they show up, that you have every opportunity to get in front of them. They're already warmed up and excited. So when you get on that call, you're able to dive right into what are your top 3. And of course, one last thing is when they sign up for a discovery call, don't just get their name and email. Ask them 3 questions. Think of 3 questions to ask them that will inform you of who they are, and it'll start the conversation. Then when you have your discovery call, have that all structured as far as how you're delivering it, how long it is, all of those things.
That's amazing. I love videos on, would it be basically a thank you page where they opt in and then they're sent to a page where your video?
That could be one of them. Okay. It could be a video on it. I love videos on discovery call pages as well. That's
Okay.
great. Like, hey, this is what you can expect. You could set the stage. You can also just do it in an email series reminder after they sign up.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. What do you think, everybody? So far, so good, right? Give us a clapping hand emoji in the comments, please. Give us a clapping hand emoji if what Stephanie is sharing makes sense and is resonating with you. I hope it does, because it's really going to help you elevate your practice, which brings us to the next stage, where, you know, we all love to rush to, because that's like the exciting things, creating the packages and
the packages,
the courses, and like, you know, you should not be like fancying the idea of building a course, even though we provide you with pre-built ones, if you haven't done 1, 2, 3, 4, like you haven't done these 5 steps first, right? Because it'll just fall flat, right? You are ready for a course when you have this first you know, upfront part of your funnel really humming in terms of numbers and technology. Oh, we have a lot of clapping hand emojis for us. Thank you, everyone. Oh, Nadine, thank you. Love that. Yeah, so let's move on to Elevate. And you note here the sales funnel, courses, and community. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So these are some examples here, but really what you're thinking about is through your suite of services. So the Excite can be a starter package. Then they're getting into more of a suite of service. Could be your core, usually at the base of the Elevate ladder is your core thing, your core program. It could be a 6-month program, the one-on-one. Maybe it's a group program. I don't know. It could be a lot of different things, but usually it's your core thing. It's the thing that delivers the solution to your client. So if you have a tiered system, by the way, with your packaging, you have a starter package. The starter package does not solve their solution. The starter package gets them started. And then the next tier up might get them a little further on the journey, might help them see the path. But your biggest core product is the thing that actually solves this, you know, comes to the conclusion of that. And then you can elevate them up with supplemental things that help them stay on the path, that help them improve their knowledge about where they're at with testing and protocols, and helps. So those are upsells to your main core product. So if you think about your product offering in the way that you're going to deliver Excite, which typically would be a starter package. It's a common thing that I suggest to practitioners when I'm working with packaging strategy. Start with a starter package, which might be 2 or 3 sessions. Then offer your core services, whether that's a tiered service or the big thing. And then think out what are those upsells. If you have too many things to sell, like you can have a lot of different testing, you can have a lot of different options, and that's all good because you can customize your solutions to your client. But you want to think of those as one bucket. Like, okay, now I'm going to upsell my testing. I'm going to pick from the suite of my products, not just put it. This is one thing that too many practitioners do. Put all the things that they sell on their website and tell the client, okay, you're the guide, you decide.
Right.
You don't want that. You want to have a thoughtful approach to, okay, how are they engaging the first time? How am I then bringing them up the ladder? And a lot of times that is just by selling in clinic, you know, like when you're in an appointment with them, you're talking to them about additional solutions. You're talking, maybe it is a course that's going to help them understand how to cook or understand the FODMAP diet or something like that. You know, it could be any one of those things. But
we have somebody on with us, Irene. Irene, your niche is really interesting. It's people who are like just pre-retirement, but who are preparing themselves for retirement. Like that's such a cool thing to envision, right? Like, because when you retire, you want to be, you know, have energy and you really want to thrive in your retirement. I love that, Irene. And, you know, I think that speaks, like that niche especially is really great for what Stephanie is talking about. Like, you know, bringing them in saying, okay, here's where you are now. And like you have a definite timeline, like here's where you want to be. Let's make sure that we can get you there by the time you're, you know, 60 plus. I'm knocking on that door, by the way, Irene. So not thinking about retirement, but yeah, definitely, you know, as people age, they're thinking about, boy, I really want to, you know, especially because at this age, you're watching other people in your world kind of aging in front of you, and you're like, I just want to make sure that they and myself are as healthy as possible so that we can enjoy the rest of our lives. So
and still travel and still have all the fun that you want to have when you're not working. Yes.
Like I can see, Irene, I see a course already. I'm like module 1, 2, 3, 4. Like these are the phases of preparing for retirement from kind of this nutrition and lifestyle perspective, right? But it doesn't start there. That the point is that somebody is not going to be buying a $497 course from you before they become excited. So you need to get that kind of inflection point of them just really buying into what you're saying. And you'll hear it like in clinic, just like Stephanie was saying, like when they're ready. And remember, I always want you to remember this, and don't be disappointed. If you only have like 5 clients that hit that excite phase, not all 5 are going to buy your course. Maybe one will. And that's actually a really good conversion. So it really is a numbers game. And that's why you need to
numbers are going to get smaller as you go through the journey and as you go down the funnel. It just is. And those are going to be your best clients. You're going to love spending time with them. And that's where the retain phase comes in, is those are the clients that you want the testimonials from. Those are the clients that you want 100 more people from. So when it comes to you've delivered your best things to your best people, you've elevated them up the ladder, then you're really looking at those best clients that have gone through that to have an automated way to gather testimonials. And testimonials do more than just promote your services. Testimonials are really important on several different levels. Testimonials from the people who are giving the testimonial, it is way more likely they will send you referrals if they've given you a testimonial, because they've crafted the words on how to communicate your value through a testimonial. They've taken the time to write about it. They're more likely to share with other people. So asking for a testimonial also puts in their mind that you care that they tell other people about it.
You care what they think. When people used to send me like love notes inside my EHR, or they would send me an email like, I can't believe my son ate the roasted butternut squash. But they were excited, right? So they were really, it was a really great client to have because they were very engaged. I would immediately capture that, put it in a file, and then respond back to them to say, oh, that was really kind. Would you mind putting that in a testimonial? And nobody ever said no. I can't even remember a time where somebody was like, no,
words.
You said the words, let me rewrite them for you. You can do that, and then send it to them for their approval. Love that. I wanted to say just a little bit about the Elevate piece, kind of before we transition totally over to retention, that I think, Stephanie, one of the reasons why practitioners kind of list everything out, like here's a menu of my services, take what you want, is that it removes us from the selling process, because selling doesn't feel good. Selling doesn't feel good because you're not showing up in a confident way. And the way that you show up in a confident way, when I say a confident way, you have to really, really believe that what you have to offer will change that person's life. It will have such an impact. And that's how you communicate it. Patient, in my experience, getting you to the next level, this is what it's going to take. They can take it or leave it. So you have to, of course, be prepared to hear no, but don't just say, okay, here's what else I have, like pick. I think you are the expert. And you tell them like this, in my experience, these are the people who have the most.
This is how you'll be successful.
They sign up for my 6-month program and let's go. I'm here for you. And, showing up with that level of confidence, that's what makes a difference. I really didn't experience that in my current business until probably a year in to get really comfortable. But boy, now I'm on fire because I know what I have to offer is life-changing. Right. And so I'm not shy.
Going on. Right. Exactly.
And you too, Stephanie, with String Connect. Stephanie's like, I can't believe more people have not, are not aware of this because it's such an amazing solution. But, it takes people time to get to that excite and elevate phase. So
what does the sales process again, there's a couple of things that can reduce the anxiety, and maybe I'd say in your sales process is one, sales is a process. Knowing what the steps are to closing a sale is important. Having a process for your discovery call, at least in buckets, and how you're asking and how you're conducting it. Sales Sales decks are helpful and tools and things like that. So think about it as a process.
Yeah.
And then also, I think the other thing is that think about when you are seeking out a solution, right? So something that you're not necessarily familiar with, you're wanting to go to somebody that can evaluate all the things going on,
Right.
and can say, this is the way to success. And that's what you're doing with them. When you're giving them a menu, don't think of it as selling to them your big ticket product.
I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. I scheduled our event from 1 to 2. I'm hoping that Facebook continues to stream us, but if for some reason we get cut off, I want everybody to know that. And Hillary, if you could drop that again right now, that would be amazing. It doesn't appear that it's cutting us off, so this is great. Hillary, if you could drop that link in again for everybody who's joining us now, that would be great. I want to make sure that everybody gets this very, very high value opt-in. Stephanie just put so much work into this, tons of detail for you. So great. So now the raving fans, we've talked a little bit about testimonials, making sure that you harness them and get them out everywhere on social media, in Facebook groups, on your website, right? Making sure that people are aware, using it as an awareness tactic too, but it helps.
Use them in your discovery call email series.
Yes. Yes. So yes, testimonials are great to share in email series. We do it all the time. And then the retention piece of it, this is where your sales funnel now is small. Like these people have engaged with you. They've done it. Have they done it all? Maybe, maybe not. But eventually, health behavior change is a continuum. It is not linear, right? They move back and forth. Someone who's working with you might fall, maybe you want to engage, offer membership. That membership does not happen until you're, at that bottom.
You're solidified. Yeah, you need to have a client base solidified for membership.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody, so in the retention phase, although it's a small group, it is the largest opportunity for revenue growth and fast revenue growth. It is fast and cheap to get access to your existing clients. So when you want to create a new product, or if you're going through a lull, anything like that, looking at your existing client base and using email marketing to increase your revenue is the first place I like to look, because those are your raving fans. Those are the people that love you already. They still need help, right? And services. And also, I want to remind you that those people that you love, that have been raving fans and that you want 100 more of, have friends that are just like them. And so you want those referrals. So staying in front of your existing client base is important. Feeding them with email marketing, special offers, whatever you can do, just making sure that you're taking care of them and you're staying in front of them. Not just maybe your nurture email, regular newsletter, but send special emails out to them. Maybe set up a birthday email that just says happy birthday, thinking about you. There's automations like in String Connect. We like that too. Little birthday things that'll go out and be like, hey, happy birthday from me. Just hope you're doing well. Things like that stay in front of your existing client base can really help keep them friendly, keep you top of mind, and they'll mention you to other people. So it's one of those areas that a lot of people really kind of neglect or ignore. They think that they're always having to only take a new person through the funnel.
Oh, that's exhausting. That's exhausting.
It is.
You do not want to be in that position where, and look, if you're not able to retain clients and your attrition rate is really high, you have other problems. You need to reinvestigate your niche and your offers and your practice, your approach to practice, because that, it's not the sales funnel that's the problem. Like, you need to identify what's broken, fix it, so that you can retain a certain percentage. You're not going to retain 100% of your clients, but you are going to retain a certain percentage, as well as bring in people new. And that's what makes kind of this flowing, the sales funnel work. Like that's what keeps it working.
And as your business changes, the people that you've worked with in the past might not be exactly the same, but I bet there's a few of them in there.
Oh, Nicole has a great idea. Nicole, I love this. Nicole says that she uses the recipe packs for birthday gifts.
Oh, that's such a cool idea. I love that. Cool. That's awesome.
That's so cool. I love that, Nicole. Just sending somebody a recipe pack or a cooking video would be really, really cool.
Yeah, delivering value. That's really cool.
I love it. I love it. So, Stephanie, I am just, I can't say enough about working with you. And I want our members to know that You offer a variety of things that they can learn about to help them with their sales funnel, like with all of the mechanics of it, get it humming, the strategy, the branding, all of that. You're going to provide them with this opt-in, but
Yes.
I'd also like for you to just spend about 30 seconds or a minute talking about String Connect and why you're so excited about it and bringing it to the community, and actually what it is.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So String Connect is an all-in-one marketing platform that can help deliver all of the automations that we've kind of discussed today, pieces of every single part of that funnel. And we've crafted a suite of services that kind of meet you wherever you're at in your business to make sure to shore up these pieces and make sure you have a really strong funnel all the way throughout, including having the right product suite.
And it works with your website. I should say, just
it works with any kind of website.
Without getting into like the whole tech piece of it, because I had a hard time understanding exactly what it was.
Yeah. Right.
But you have your website and it optimizes
Yes.
your website. It makes your website really, really work for
Yeah.
you. I mean, I talk about this often because it's had such an impact on my business. The first thing that Stephanie installed on my website using String Connect was this little chat widget, like just a pop-up saying, "Hey, welcome to Living. Can I, ask me anything?"
Yeah.
I mean, every day leads, and anywhere from 3 to 6, I would say daily, of people asking questions. I've heard about Living Plate RX, or, I'm an RD in a clinical setting, just like lots and lots of conversations. Yeah. And all these conversations you have are amazing. I'm capturing an email. I'm capturing a phone number, a name.
And they're going on the email list. They are subscribing when they do that. People are more apt to reach out on a chat widget. Even if you have a fact section and all the information on your website that they need, they're going to ask a question. And that's good. You want that. You want them on your email list. That way, that's a really easy way to get them on your list and be able to engage with a lead. And when I say it can handle things all the way from the beginning, so let me just go through some of the things that it can do. And I think you're going to find in this that it alleviates the need for so many different subscriptions. It's very, very affordable. And that's why we wanted to bring it to RDs, because we're so excited. And it was a pain point of ours to work in so many different systems as a marketing agency and to try to make sure everything was connected and all. And I know you guys feel that pain. I know you feel the pain of trying to get systems connected. So let me just go through really quickly on some of the functionality. And what I'll encourage you to do, if you download our tech download, you're going to be invited to a group demo call for String Connect. And I hold them every Friday. So, and I can handle about 20 people.
I love that.
So, so the functionalities that are included in String Connect are not a complete list, but social posting and scheduling. It does the discovery call, subscribe. So email marketing, you can do your newsletters from there, subscribe automated series from there, chat widget. It can act as a mini chat type system where you can have people respond to people.
I haven't done that yet, but
we're going to be setting that up for you soon.
Yes, I am so excited about that. Yes. I'm so excited.
Right. So eliminating some of those subscriptions. So you have an email marketing system. It also does functionality like Calendly for your discovery call process, all of those automated emails that follow up from there. Onboarding series. It also handles a visual sales pipeline and can handle automations for your pipeline to be able to see how many leads do you have, where are they in the process, who do I need to follow up with, all of that. It's a contact management system. It also is like ClickFunnels or some of the other programs that you can create whole funnels in there, and you can also deliver courses and memberships from the platform.
Which is amazing. Like I built a landing page, probably took me, it's an extensive landing page, but if you wanted to create a really simple landing page, it's so like easy, click and drag, less than 30 minutes to create a really pretty opt-in page and then connect that to your funnel and then your email collection. And Stephanie, you and your team are so patient. And actually the customer service on String Connect is really impressive. There's a chat widget there, like live support.
Yeah, 24 hours.
Whenever I'm stuck, I don't call you first. I will speak to them, and they're really patient, really great. And just the services is amazing.
And then for your marketing activities, you can have our team help you with that. We have content creators, we have designers, developers, all of that on our team. So we can jump in, create a marketing strategy, create a funnel plan, all of those things and help execute that for you.
Amazing.
And or teach you how to do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I like a little bit of both. I always like
little bit
to,
of both.
I mean, totally great farming it out, but I always like to know how things work. It's just,
Yeah, right. If you got to fix something,
Jennifer, my director of operations, is like, you got to get your hands on it. I'm like, but I like it. Like, I like understanding. Like, why were you building the landing page? Because I want to understand how things work.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's both good and bad, but it's really very easy to use. Just I used to use ClickFunnels and have, which is like $250 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like just for ClickFunnels. It was very, very expensive. And now I've transitioned everything over to String Connect. So
and
really excited.
Our basic plan. Sorry. Yeah. But our basic plan is $97 a month. It can handle all of those pieces. Discovery Call. The second level plan, $197 a month, can handle the memberships and courses and sales pages like ClickFunnels. So yeah, you can get a lot of value out of, and it includes website hosting, WordPress hosting by my team.
Amazing. Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing so much value with our community. If you are watching this as a recording, please use the hashtag replay and make a comment and let us know how else Stephanie and I can help you. Oh, thank you. Hillary is doing hashtag value. Great. Nicole is super interested. So if you are just starting out, wow, like I wouldn't even start anywhere else but String Connect. I think sometimes because, you know, we bubble gum and duct tape like these scenarios for ourselves, and then we just kind of get comfortable, right? Like I've been using ActiveCampaign for 4 years. I'm spending, I cannot wait to save all that money. But it's a big move for us, right? So we're transitioning everything over to String Connect, but your team is you're really taking care of us. So just know that if you already have things in place and you need to make this transition, that Stephanie and her team are there for you to just save you buckets of money. Like honestly, it's almost too good to be true, but it's not. Like it's a real thing, and the technology behind it is just so powerful. So thank you again so much. A lot of thumbs up and hashtags here. Great, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Stephanie, anything else you want to add, or just words of encouragement?
Words of encouragement. Yeah. My theme for the year is ease. And I really do think that we can practice business with ease. And I think automation, thoughtfulness, all of those things can go into our marketing plan, into our business, into how we deliver everything. And that's why I'm so excited. So I wish you all ease today in your business.
Yeah.
And so I'll leave you with that.
I love it. All right. Thank you again so much for joining me, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Bye.